Hi, how are you? Do you hear me? Excellent too. So, today's topic is intuition and desires coming true. Yeah, revealed. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. The 40s, that's interesting because I was thinking about it today. Someone that I know is translating a book. And she says that it totally all the time is speaking about 40s and how it's not being too old yet. That's funny. Me being 42, it's funny to think about it that 40 can be being old. It's like in one Russian movie, um, they say someone says you'll see when you'll be 40, you'll see that your life just starts. And yes, I agree with her, with him. It was him. Okay, then about intuition, state of mind. Yes, exactly. I agree with it. I remember that in one meditation by Muji, there was a phrase of him. He said, "There is no time, there is no age." And I felt so good with it. I don't know what context is for me in the definition of age, but definitely there is something that maybe bothers me or is heavy for me there. Maybe because when I remember that phrase and I say to myself, there is no age, it makes me feel lighter, like ease. It's ease. Okay, what I wanted to say about intuition was that there are, of course, different perceptions of intuition, and there are different, I'd say, uses for it. And I want to speak about the perception, the definition, and the use of it that is, on my opinion, for me, it's the most effective one. It's the most useful one. Because as I usually heard the definition of the perception of intuition and the notion of intuition was that how we can know what the unknown future brings us. And since people think that they should be in conscious control of the future, like the more we know about our future, the more we can control it. And also, people think that the more conscious control is available, the better it will be. Like I don't remember. I think that in one of the lectures I did draw it for you. Just a second, I will take a pencil there. And no, not this. Just a moment. It was in some of Bashar's lectures that he said that usually people think that the conscious mind is here and the subconscious mind is here. It's like because of that we call it the subconscious, because we feel like the conscious is above. It's like this is what we think with, and this is what should be in control. This is what is the wise one. That this is the smart one. This is the wise one. This is the one who should solve things and who is in charge. Okay, and that is why we call it subconscious, because we express in it that we think that the conscious mind should be in charge and above, and that we know better than the subconscious, even though even in NLP and in many different theories, many different practices, they say that there are a lot of solutions in subconscious, or they sometimes call it unconscious. There are a lot of solutions, and they say like subconscious is gathering a lot of things, and it's like it's a storage that has a lot of things there, and that we can give our subconscious some tasks, for example, to come up with the solution for some problem. But still, we expect it to find the solution, but we will think about it in our upper conscious level. And in that lecture, Bashar said that we could take it differently. We could say that yes, there is the conscious level, but there is also something that he calls upconscious. Second, I will try to make from it. It doesn't want to make it round. Okay, it doesn't matter. Maybe I will try once more. No, it doesn't want. Okay, then maybe it wants to tell me that subconscious and upconscious are not that equal. But what I wanted to express in it is that what Bashar said, that if we start treating it like our conscious mind, we have it, but it's not above it all. It's not in charge. It's not actually, it doesn't have to be in control of everything. And so and he said that when we call it upconscious, then we do express in it some trust in it having some solutions that maybe are not so available to our perception yet, or maybe it has the ability to solve things for us by itself. Okay. And the perception, the notion of intuition, like something like the tool that could help us know what expects us, or to provide us with some knowledge about how it will be. This is usually how intuition is presented. And I want to show you, to watch with you a video again from Bashar that I remembered, that he says he offers a different perspective, and it is close to what I wanted to tell you in this subject. Just a moment. We will move to seeing video, and then we will see. Just a moment, I will take a link.
Many individuals on your planet, when they play such games as the lottery, in their mindset, more often than not, the majority of them will be thinking, I hope I pick the winning numbers. I hope I pick the winning numbers. I hope I pick the winning numbers. Here's the key. Remember that when you choose your numbers, whether by your own hand or you allow the machine to randomly choose for you, you are still choosing. But the key is not that you will pick the winning numbers. The key is you will pick numbers. You will shift to a reality where those are the winning numbers. You will bend the reality to your numbers, not the other way around. The difference in the mindset is profound, because when you go in saying, I want to pick the winning numbers, I hope I pick the winning numbers, I wish to pick the winning numbers, you're talking about the winning numbers as if it's already decided what they will be. But it's not. Nothing has been drawn. So when you choose numbers from your passion to play this game, the idea is to allow yourself to know that you can allow the reality to match your numbers, not your numbers to match the reality. The idea here also is to understand that when doing this, even though we understand on a physical level, in a physical mind level, many of you say you would like to win the lottery, many of you are really not as excited about it as you think. The idea is that that kind of game brings up within many of you many doubts, many beliefs, many definitions that allow you to process your relationship to the concept of wealth, your relationship to the concept of abundance. And that's how many of you use that opportunity. In that sense, anytime you play, as long as you allow yourself to use the outcome, whatever it is, to explore more thoroughly your relationship to the concept of wealth and abundance, then in that context, you have won. Because that's what most of you use that game for. I am not saying you cannot win, but remember, it's like anything else. If you're truly passionate about something, you bring it into manifestation. Most of you, contrary to what you may think, are actually not that passionate about the lottery as you are about doing the thing itself that you are passionate about. A lottery can be one way in which your reality may afford you the opportunity to do that thing, but it isn't always necessarily the easiest, quickest, and most enjoyable way. So, anytime you play, do so with the understanding that it is for the purpose of opening up for you an opportunity to get in touch with your relationship with abundance, your relationship with wealth. And if you use it that way, you will allow yourself to go into that game in the neutral state of being that represents your highest self, that would actually, so to speak, allow you the greatest probability of actually winning. Your relationship to the concept of wealth. We have begun to discuss this recently in the understanding that many of you also still are harboring the concepts that as you explore spirituality, that there is somehow a contradiction to the concept of physical wealth in having a spiritual life. Of course, there is no such thing. It is all wealth, spiritual wealth, physical wealth. It is all the same wealth expressed in different ways. And as you expand spiritually, there is absolutely no reason but the reasons you create for why physical abundance and physical wealth, those expressions cannot accompany the growth of your own spiritual wealth as well. If you find that you have a relationship with wealth that is conflicting or contradictory, or beliefs or definitions that do not allow you a clear understanding that these are one and the same things, and that one does not have to occur at the expense of another, then you will allow yourself to let all kinds of wealth and all kinds of abundance manifest themselves in perfect timing, whenever, wherever, and however it is required to reflect the unfolding of your life, the growth of yourself in a natural way. You all follow along with this? Yes. So when you play the lottery, play it to allow yourself to get in touch with your relationship with wealth and be in the state that you prefer to be, and you will win every time in some way. When winning in any way becomes equal to winning in any other way, you actually afford yourself the greatest probability of allowing abundance to come to you in that way, as well as other ways in which you play.
Okay, so what I wanted to tell you in this was the following. The usual notion of intuition is like this. It feels yes. That there is some barrier between us and our future. And in the future, there is some event that we don't know what it is going to be. And then the intuition is like if we are here, then the intuition is a way to get a sneak peek, to take a peek through or over this barrier and get to know what this event will be. And if you look at it more closely, you will see that it presents the our life and the realities that it contains in only one way, meaning that there is only one version of us and there is only one reality that is going to be in some way, and it is readying itself in some way, and we want to know what it will be. Whether there is there is a different version of it, and if you remember, I was speaking about in my lecture 3, and Dmitry Orlov was speaking about it also in his lecture, in his first lecture here, when he was speaking about corridors and the Schrödinger's cat, where it was like this, that we can go through different corridors, we can go in different directions, and in each of these corridors there will be some event. In each of those corridors there will be some event. These are our possibilities. Of course, there is probably unlimited amount of possibilities where we can go. And so what if we take a different notion of intuition here? And we take an intuition as not as a tool to know what it will be and then somehow prepare ourselves for meeting it the way we saw it in our intuition. But we will take it in two different ways. First of all, we will say that intuition is a taste of what is being prepared as an outcome, as an expression of our vibration. And it means that when we think about our future in some area, then if we feel good about it, it means that we are in alignment in that stream, and it means that the events that are going to show up to us are going to feel good. Okay, Mavild, you can also catch up in the replay after that, but you are welcome to come back to us as well. Thank you for letting me know. And fun with kids. Okay. So first of all, we can take an intuition as an indication of what expects us. And if it already feels good, then it means that we are aligned in the stream, and so it's going to express itself to us in some pleasant way. Or if our intuition gives us this feeling then something bad is going to happen, then again we can stop ourselves from trying to figure out what this bad thing could be and trying to prepare ourselves for it or prevent the bad thing. But we can just take it, just as Bashar said now, that we can take it as a way to know ourselves better and to understand that in this stream, regarding this area of our life where we don't feel good about what expects us, it means that we are not aligned there in that stream, and that we can do our energy work, and with that we can improve what's expecting us. And we can also say that no matter what was expecting us, when we do our energy work, we will improve anyway the outcome, because the outcome depends not on the physical circumstances that show up now, because the circumstances do not create the new circumstances. Our vibration is being expressed in the new circumstances, and that is why when we control not how we prevent that bad thing, we just think it's like it was about I don't remember if I told you this, or it was in one of my coaching sessions, that there was one situation when I wrote an email to someone, and I was expecting a reply, and I didn't know if reply will be good or bad for me. Like if that person will take it good or will take it bad, what I told him. and I didn't know how he will react to it. And I was worried. And then, but he didn't send his reply for some time. And suddenly I realized that it wasn't that there was going to be like there was one reality and there was going to be one reply, and it is going to be good or bad. It like always was that all realities and all his replies existed already. It's like Bashar always presents it, that we are just moving through static frames. And then again, it's not now about convincing you that this is how it works. It is presenting you, I am just presenting you with different models, and then you can choose the one that is the most effective for you. And so if it is the most effective for you is to try to guess what is expecting you and then trying to control it somehow with your conscious mind and trying to prevent or fix things or do something physical, it's one thing. But for me, for example, this model where all those realities exist and all those outcomes also exist, and it is depending on me where I go. And then I shouldn't, I don't need to be dependent on knowing where I will arrive, because I know that with every bit of energy work that I do, in every bit of the thought work that I do, that I taught you in my previous lectures, and in the previous lecture, especially the exercise that we did, that you saw how raising the energy it was, how heightening the vibration it was. And so I know that no matter what it will be, I know that in my energy work, I will improve my outcome anyway. And so I can kind of ignore it, the outcome that is going to be. I can focus on my now and I can improve what I feel now, in my now. And that is how we can use our intuition. So you see the difference between the usual notion, like trying to understand what expects us there, versus the understanding the intuition, like taking the intuition just like a taste, like how asking ourselves how we feel about what is going to happen, or how we feel in that stream about that area of our life, and then even not taking it as a taste. We don't even always need to take the taste. We can just take it as our set point, at our current set point, and then find from it the steps up from it. So we even don't take any estimations if we feel good about it or how good we feel about it. We can just take our current intuition, or whatever we call it, our current feeling about what is going to be, and we just find a better feeling thought in that area from that set point up. That's it. Do you have questions about that part of what I said for now? Questions, additions, something that you would like to add or to ask or to say? Okay, you guess. Okay, what your intuition is saying? What it is that your intuition is saying about? It's also for me that when I am trying here to figure out what is going to be, then what is an implied message in it is that, first of all, there is only reality, and it is like the physical reality that is kind of defined, and it's not defined by me, it's defined by someone else, and it is outside of me. And then me trying to know what is outside of me is also there is helplessness in that state, and it also is kind of work with my intuition for me, because when I see that in some area I am trying to figure out what will happen, I am trying to analyze, work with my intuition to know what will happen, then what lets me know is that I am in a helpless state. And when I'm in a helpless state, it tells me that I am not aligned there. And that already means that if I don't do any work with it, any work with my vibration in it, then I can expect some negative outcome. Not that it will be negative forever, but that it will be something that will be negatively perceived by me. But I can also see it in some other way as well. That when I am in my now, thinking about something and trying to prevent something, or trying to find out what it will be, trying to get something from the outside of me, then it tells me about my point of view. It tells me something about my current vibration. It tells me something about my model of life. And I can just observe it even and understand in it how because I know what my inner being would think, right? That I am the center of what's happening in my life. And I can analyze it from this point of view as well. But also it is like okay, we will take it that far, that it is when it is outside of me, oh, what I wanted to say was that in my now, what is more pleasant for me in my moment now? Is it more pleasant for me to try and find out what expects me in my future? Or if it's more pleasant for me to enjoy my and kind of with the calm feeling that in my future there is also life, right? Like the question is, what thinking? Oy. This is the question. And then I can see that when I am calm about my future, then it's kind of pleasant and calm for me in my now. And then this is the best setting my energy also for the future as well. Because when I'm not worrying about it, then calm about it, and then I am aligned about it. The trust is also a stage of harmonization and alignment, and it does mean something. It does bring something into my life, both right now and in um, some distance as well. For example, if I take what happened in the previous lecture where I was frightened, then if I was not doing this, I felt that it did trigger for me something deep enough so that it wouldn't go away by simply ignoring it. I saw that I needed to do some work about it. But that's what I love in this life model so much, that it is perfect in this way, in it that I was both improving the way I felt then, and I also knew that I was improving my outcome as well. So, what I want to offer you from my practice and from my point of view is to start looking at intuition this way, that that all those outcomes exist in parallel, and it depends on us, on me in my life and on you in your life, to which outcome you come, uh, as which outcome will your energy be expressed. And I have this saying in my tablet, I think, because I have some sayings in my phone and also in my tablet. And the phrase, just a second, I will read it to you. It says every effort in aligning is raising a vibrational stair to feeling even better. And it is a very meaningful statement for me because sometimes I get into some situations where I feel like no matter how many these vibrational steps I will do, I will not improve the situation or my life substantially. Like it is something so big and I am so desperate that I am very close to giving up and just dragging my feet after that. But then I am reading that statement that says, yeah, probably it always is. Yes. And I am remembering that statement, and it says that every bit of the vibrational work helps. Every step, no matter how small it is, still helps. And then I can just let go of the big picture and let go of trying to fix it in some global way. You know, Esther says, like, beat it to the ground. And like to solve this problem, to kill this problem, and then live happily ever after. She ironically says that, okay. And like she just was expressing this desire that all of us have some things where we encounter some problem in our life, and then we think that no matter, like tend to forget about all that we learned ever, and we just think that uh, when this problem will be solved, then we will be able to live happily ever after. But then life happens, and then that problem, when it's solved, we come to all kinds of other desires that we still have, or we have a new, because this new place where we solved that problem becomes a stepping stone for something else, becomes a bouncing place for new desires. And then finally we find ourselves again in that process that no matter how we go forward, we don't come to a situation where all our problems are resolved or all our desires are satisfied. And Abraham Hicks say that it is how life is, because if life would stop someday, then life would stop. And that's why it always goes forward, and it always creates in us new desires, like with the stream that I was drawing for you, that it always expands, and these newly expanded areas are expressed in us as some new desires that we feel like wanting to satisfy. And then if we take it this way, then we can just go in our life with just making ourselves feel better in every moment, not trying to solve it globally, not trying to know what it will be, but just improving on that little place that we are, in that little step that we do, that there we improve the place that we will come to. And this is nice that we have tools to do so. I also want to speak to you about indecision, that sometimes in life it looks like there is us, there is us. And there are two things. Can thing A or thing B. And it looks to us that we have to come to the right decision. And this is, if these are our choices, then it is usually a difficult period in our life when we are trying to, because we don't know everything what these two things will bring about in our life. We don't know everything that this will influence in our life. We are still trying with all we know to come up with a decision what to choose of these two things. And it can be in different situations. It can be about a new job, if we should take it or not. And it can be with some conference that we don't know if we should go there or not. And it can also be, for example, with moving apartments, and we can see different advantages and disadvantages in the situations that we choose between. And then this process, what is usually happening in these situations is that we are trying to make lists of pluses and minuses, and then for every one of these cases, in order to choose wisely between them, we are creating a table and we are writing pluses, all pluses of A and all minuses of A, and all pluses of B and all minuses of B. And then we are trying to analyze it and come up with the solution. And this is hugely comes from this one, from this model, where we think we consciously should be in charge and come up with the solution that will be the best. Some tending to a different model can be when we say, okay, let life give me whatever is the best for me. But then sometimes it's a bit, it can be a bit difficult to trust in it and to not judge it on the way, because when it gives us something that we sometimes still continue to think, but what if it would give us that one, the other case that we wanted. But another way of doing it is to just say that there are all those choices and there is something physical, but not that will define what will happen further. Because usually what happens is, why are we trying to choose between these two things? Because we think that for every one of these things is a set of circumstances that it will influence, that it will bring about. Like if we choose A, then this, and this will happen. And if we choose B, then this, and this will happen. And I was, for example, no, I was in many such situations, but in one situation it was really very explicit that there were two different choices that every one of them was that they were so opposite that I felt like, and I didn't have a control on what I will choose. It was like this thing will come to me, or this thing will to me. It was like it wasn't a job that I was in then years ago, and they had to come up with some mm, choice that would be influencing me as it looked, as it showed up to me, as it showed to me that, as it seemed to me that it would create two different lives for me, whether they would choose one uh, thing or another. But as they were considering and coming up to their decision, making up their decision, I suddenly realized that why I was feeling so badly then in those days. It was because I was taking something outside of me as being of such great influence on my life. And then I told myself that, as I said here, that physical circumstances do not create new physical circumstances. And so it's not that these things would be creating new circumstances, like this thing would create something one, and this thing would create something different, and like these two things would create totally different lives for me. But I suddenly understand that it was why I was feeling so badly, because my inner being definitely told me that this was not the case, and being so depending on the what happening outside of me was my mistake in that situation. And I started to think how it would be, how I could perceive it differently, so that it would be in alignment with what my inner GPS or inner being would be telling me. And then I realized that not the circumstances create the circumstances. My vibration creates the outcome. And it doesn't matter what they will choose for me. What will happen in my life? Not these two cases define it. My vibration defines it. And so whatever they choose, it will create the situations in my life that will be the expression of my vibration, of my energy. And there I did have some control. I could do some energy work, some thought work that would improve that outcome. And then when I took it this way, that no matter what they will choose, my outcome doesn't depend on that. My outcome depends on my vibration. Then I got such a huge relief. And then they also came up with the solution from those, even not from those to so much something else that was the most pleasant for me. But it went as bonus and as a logical consequence to the relief that I got inside, that the circumstances that were going to follow were the expression of my energy, not the influence of these two outer circumstances. It was an expression of my energy. And then this taught me a lot also about all the situations where we are in some indecision. And when a friend of mine was a year ago in a situation where she was moving to a different apartment. And after lots of choosing work, after seeing many different apartments, she was left with two choices, two alternatives. That in every one of those apartments were some pluses and some minuses, were some advantages and some disadvantages. And they sounded kind of opposite, because one of those apartments was close to her daughter's school, and it was important for her that her daughter would be in a school that she wouldn't spend a lot of time, like she wouldn't be going in a bus to her school, and that she could come home to take a rest from time to time when she needs it or something. And it was important for her to have a school close so that her daughter would um, live more comfortably. On the other hand, that the other apartment was far from the school, but it has interior. It was accurate, and it was like inside it looked much better. And it was also important for her to live in comfortable conditions. And she said that in that apartment that was close to her daughter's school, it clearly wasn't the case. It had all things were old there, and it was unpleasant. Like, it was unpleasant to live here. And when speaking to her, or more precisely, when she was speaking to me, and I was just observing and taking it in with the energy and reading her energy in it, perceiving her, then what I noticed was then that when she was speaking about benefits of the apartments, no matter which one of the apartments she was speaking about, it was the same, that when she was speaking about the benefit of the apartment, I felt like she became harmonized, and she came into alignment inside, in such an alignment that I felt it would bring pleasant outcome, no matter which apartment she was speaking about. But when she was starting to speak about what was bad in those apartments, again, no matter which one of them, I felt how she was filled with disharmony inside, and how then, no matter which apartment she would choose, it would create an unpleasant outcome. And then an exercise that I gave her, I told her, okay, let's try and do it this way. Since the listing the benefits gives you such harmony, brings you into such harmony, and listing the minuses, the disadvantages, tears you apart so much, then let's just concentrate on the pluses. And then I told her to fill up the table that wasn't really a table. It was like this, like if this was a table, and if usually the table for comparison would be between 8 and 8, for here we would see pluses, and here we would see minuses, right? But here it was just one column. one column that all the pluses of both apartments were listed here. How I was setting her to do it. It was like this. One of the apartments was close to her daughter's school, right? And so the benefit was close to school. Okay, one of those. Then one of the apartments, I don't remember which one of them, had a park near the apartment. I don't remember which one of them, but it was an advantage of one of those apartments. And so it also was a plus that we were writing there. Next one, the other apartment, the benefit of it was that it had a nice interior and beautiful, elegant conditions. Okay, and so on. That was the list that I told her to fill. That you see, there are no minuses here, and there is no opposing between, because that opposing of two apartments was tearing her apart and was bringing the inner war about. And this war, I just know that this is like I know it vibrationally. I feel things like that. That I know that this war inside would only bring something bad outside. And for example, it could happen that she would lose both of those apartments and would be left with no choice. And some apartment that she was already in, that was both far from everything, and like she couldn't really stay there. Like the situation could get worse in many different aspects of it. But when we were arranging all the pluses of both apartments in one column like this, then it brought the inner harmony inside. And then she did it, and immediately she felt better. Even in our conversation, when we were just listing those pluses, she did feel better. And I both felt that she was going to get with this energy much better circumstances. And after that, she just told me that the owner of that apartment that was close to school, he suddenly or agreed, offered them to come up with improving the interior and conditions inside on his own account, and then they actually really got all the benefits in one apartment. And for someone else, it could seem just a coincidence. For me, of course, not. For someone else, it could look like a miracle. For me, actually, yes, because no matter how I am accustomed to these miracles and how many times they happen, I still, every time it is a pleasant surprise, and every time it still is a miracle for me. But a logical miracle. Like when it happens, I tell myself, yes, of course. Even though it still feels like a miracle. because in that situation where she was in, it clearly I didn't think that we would come to this outcome. I just thought that anyway, for her, it was more beneficial to be in alignment. And I felt that the way for her to come to alignment was to list all those benefits together. Now, I want to suggest that you also do a work that we can do some of this work now together about some decision that you should come up with, decisions that you should make. Do you have some decisions that you want to make? We will again take, I think, different situations. I will take my situation. I will think about some situation that I should make my decision about. Yes, definitely. Okay, and Karen, would you like to take your some indecision and work with it too? Yes, great. So, but now let's take a break for 10 minutes. And then after that, and I will think for now about the decision that I want to work with. And then we will continue. And we will do the decision and decision, the work, the vibrational work about that. Okay. Okay, we are back. Are you here? Okay, what's with Giselle? Oh, Mavild, hi. Great, you came to our exercise. Yes, great. Okay, so I'll just explain to Mavild and shortly what we will do. Um, if you have some situation in which you want to make a decision, usually it's about several alternatives that you choose between, and you may think that you should choose by comparing advantages and disadvantages of all that. But taking our life model that I am offering you, it is we are going about it differently. We just say that no matter what we choose, it will somehow express in our life. But what will express in our life is always an expression of our vibration. And so, if instead of concentrating on coming up with the most appropriate physical solution and comparing pluses and minuses, even though it fills us with disharmony, if instead of it we concentrate on improving our energy, then it will make it more pleasant for us both now, in the moment now, and it will improve the situations that will follow, no matter what we choose. And usually, like what I didn't say, I think, before the break, that what I recommended, that this solution I recommended to my friend about her apartments, she was choosing between. But since then, I used this method in many of my own circumstances, my own situations in life, and it worked beautifully. And it was actually logical for me because I just felt that with this work I was improving my vibration, and then it was logical that it would bring a nice, pleasant outcome. So that is what we are going to do right now. A practical exercise where each of us will take some area of our life where we want to, where we feel like we should come up with a decision. And then we will work there with this system, where instead of comparing benefits and disadvantages, we just in one column just list all the pluses, all the benefits of all choices, as if it is just one choice with all those benefits all at once. So I hope that you did come up. Okay. I hope that you did come up with the situations that you will work with. I thought about it now, and I thought to take the situation that I have now, that I have now some shift regarding my sleep, that every night I'm going to sleep only at 4 or 5 a.m. and then I am sleeping until like 11 a.m., something like that, or sometimes even later. Um, And then I just don't feel so good in the middle of the day. But then in the night, again, I feel like uh, I'm more productive in my work at night, or I just want to read some books that I don't read during the day. And then again, like it's many days now that every night it's the same. That and then I feel bad during the day, both physically, but also because I'm blaming myself that I'm doing not the best thing for my health. And but it is how it naturally goes all the time. And so my indecision is if I should force myself into going to sleep around 10 p.m. Um, and if I should somehow force myself into shifting that periods of sleep to some more healthy, probably, time for sleep, or I should leave it like this. And you are taking your situations where you do your work. Yes, but then it goes it perpetuates the same, because I do feel like when I didn't sleep until 5 a.m., then after that I am sleeping until noon or something, and then in the evening I do feel that I want to take a nap about like 7 p.m. or something like that, and then that nap stops at some 9 p.m. And then I'm feeling awake, and suddenly I have many ideas for what I can do, and then I go to my computer, and then again, like it's like perpetuating. Yes, I understand about the naps, but in my case, in short, really, I'm just thinking maybe I should take it as it is. Maybe it's like this period for me, because you'll see now in the work that I will be doing with you, I'll think about some advantages of both choices. What then? Yeah, I heard about it. Yes. Yes, you see, Giselle, that's why I'm also blaming myself that I'm not in a healthy pattern and all that. And Karen, yes, I read about it. Yes, yes. In short, I want to probably come to a decision if I should do something with my sleep pattern or just follow what I have right now. So, and you take your situations, and we will do just our work together. You take your situation where you come up with your decision, okay? And instead of um, calling it like pluses and minuses, right? Like usually it would be. Yes, Giselle, thank you. I know a lot of things about sleep, yes, and it again goes into that I am blaming myself that I am not in a healthy pattern. But instead of calling it pluses and minuses, we will call it pluses and pluses. Okay, this is the name I came up with for this system. And so, what first of all, in this method, in this exercise, in this practical exercise, I will take one of the possible choices and list one benefit of that possible choice, And it would be, for example, I am taking by the way, when I was speaking with you, when I was showing you here, when I was showing you this table, yeah, then it would be clearly one apartment like it was case A, and the second apartment it was case B, right? And so she was like choosing between these two cases, which each one of them. But maybe, many times in our life, and I witnessed it many times since that case in my exercises, that in my situations many times it wasn't choosing between different like between two apartments. It was between if I should do something or I shouldn't do something. And so in this case, it's also with if I should force myself into sleep or I shouldn't force myself into sleep. And so as a case A, I'm taking I will force myself into sleep, and into B, I am taking I will not force myself into sleep. Okay. So now I will take the first benefit of case B. I will take that I don't need to fix anything. I can just naturally follow what is happening. This is the first benefit. I would like now to come up with one benefit of one of your choices. You're welcome to do it in the comments. Oh, great. Mavild, Karen, would you like to bring one benefit of one of your choices? Is there a situation where you want to make a decision, where you feel like you would want to make a decision? Something in your life. For example, if you are going to, if you are thinking if to move somewhere or not, if to choose some career or not, if to take some course or not. No, it's about in some situation, something in your life, some area where you feel like you would benefit from coming up with a decision there. That you are in a situation of indecision and you would like to come up with some decision there. So the exercise, the first stage of the exercise is Yes, okay, great. So we now listed one benefit of one of our choices. Now I could tell you, let's take a different uh, alternative and list some benefits of that, but I won't do that because I will tell you why should we force ourselves into we have to take now that case. Maybe we naturally would like to continue with the benefits of the one we started to list the benefits of. So what I will ask you to do will be just to bring some benefit of some of your alternatives. And it doesn't matter if it will be a benefit of the alternative you already listed one benefit for, or it will be the other case, like the other alternative that you didn't look at the first benefit. Like where you are attracted, that's where you should look. What I only say is what is the rule here is that if now, for example, many times it's like this. When I'm starting to think about pluses, then after that I naturally come up with minuses. Because that's how we are trained. But in this case, it's good because all these pluses, all these minuses, we immediately turn into pluses. For example, in that case that I won't force myself into early sleep, the benefit is that I listed. I don't need to fix anything. I can just naturally follow what is happening. And then I immediately come up with the but, and I'm saying, but I am in an unhealthy sleep pattern. I am like what Giselle said, and I also heard about some things that earlier sleep brings some other benefits. That, like, if we are going to sleep from 9 p.m. to, I think, 1 a.m., something like that, then this time is like we are getting a better sleep or something like that. I don't remember. And so I immediately think, but I am in an unhealthy pattern. But then with my mind, I just turned it into opposite. And I am telling this is a minus, okay? And if I would come up with some solution that would give me the healthy pattern, then it would be the benefit of that decision, right? And so the second benefit, I will write I am in a healthy sleep pattern. Meaning I naturally moved into the benefit of case A, where I am moving into the early sleep. Okay? And this is what you can take too. If you, after the first benefit of one of your alternatives, you immediately thought, but this is a disadvantage of it, then of the other alternative, it would be an advantage. Like, for example, if I want to move someplace, then a benefit of it would be that I would see some new places and like they say, new place, new destiny or something like that. But on this could be the benefit of it. But then the disadvantage of that would be that I should go somewhere. I should apply some effort. And then when I am turning Like, this is the disadvantage of my moving. But then what is the alternative? The alternative is to stay where I am. And then the benefit of it, like the opposite of that disadvantage, would be that I don't need to apply any effort. Okay? Like, I can be where I am. I don't need to apply any efforts. So every disadvantage of some of the choices, it is an advantage of another alternative. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So Giselle, you did the second benefit, and yes, it is right. Yes, it is correct. Indeed. Yes. So Mavild, Karen, you want to bring your benefit, your second benefit? You can do it the way I just explained, or you can just bring up the benefit that you just came up with. Your choice. Great, Mavild. Yes, you did follow that. Yes. Karen. Right. Exactly. Okay. Then let's come up with a new benefit. And this time just take whatever, or turn in something. Like, the rule is like that. If your thinking is about a benefit of some of the choices, then you just list this benefit. If your thinking that comes to you is about a disadvantage of one of these, then you just turn it into an advantage of a different choice, and you write it here as a benefit as well. Okay? So what it would be for me, that in the time of my night, my American friends are also awake, and so we can communicate. Yes. This is a benefit again of one of my choices. This is the benefit of the case B, where I continue with this sleep pattern. Want to list your benefits? You're welcome. Great, Giselle. Okay. Great. Okay. My next one will be that I feel better physically during the day. This is for case A. But still, I just really feel like I'm coming up with just benefits for my life. I wonder if you feel it, that in listing these benefits from both sides, it's do you feel some harmony inside? It's like we are stopping to being torn apart between those opposite choices, and here we are like it is just something good in our life. We are starting to take this area of choice much more comfortably. Yeah, great, Giselle. Mm-hmm. Then, Mavil, you can just repeat this exercise in those different areas of life, and you will just improve everything. You will raise your energy. You will raise your energy, yes. But what is like more precious to me is that you will feel better. You will just for me, this exercise, it brings peace into my soul, and this is so precious to me. I just love it. Yeah, great, great. Mavilde would like to list the benefits for this round. Okay, then we will give you a minute. One of those choices. Just take a benefit of it. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's great. By the way, I invite you to try and compare, just to observe, not trying to fix it, not trying to take my words as critics or something. Just try to observe it, because if you see in my listing the benefits, I don't write I will. I write it in the present time, and then it feels better to me this way. And I also understand that in some energy range, in some set points, it is impossible to say I am, because it just feels I will be, or I will do. But I am just inviting you to observe it and find a way that feels better to you. So, okay, next one, you are doing excellent job with all your listing the benefits. And I hope you are already feeling some of the harmony and joy inside, some peace inside that comes there when we are listing it this way, listing the benefits. Like, because maybe it is the feeling that no matter what will happen, it will still be good for us. Maybe this way, or we just feel good now with this, and it doesn't really matter what it will be, we feel good now. So, okay, next one for me, my turn. I will say that when my conscious mind is blurred, is there such a word in English? Then it's easier sometimes to uh, dissolve, dissolve um, old limiting beliefs. This is the next one, and it is what I really feel, that when I am not sleeping at night, and then I do feel blurred both at night and during the day, but I feel like I indeed can do my energy work sometimes better. So your turn in this round, please. You're invited, you're welcome to come up with the benefits of one of the sides of the choices. Oh, great, Giselle. Yeah, great. That's great. Okay. Then my next one, I can speak to my friends here in Israel or in my time zone because it's also in Moscow and in other places. This is the benefit of the choice of moving into the sleep pattern of sleeping at night and being awake during the day. Okay, your turn. Mm-hmm. Great. Mm-hmm. Then great. Great. Okay. My turn is just a minute. You can think about of your next one, and I will come up with my one. I'd say I feel good. Yeah, this is important for me because in one of these choices, I would be blaming myself that I am doing wrong thing, my health, and it is good that it is good to feel good about what I am doing. Giselle, again, this is stage 1 where I have to be, and then you can add stage 2 to it, and for example, replace where I have to be to where I would benefit the most, or something like that, where I could benefit the most. It can feel better to try it. And again, don't blame yourself that you didn't write it immediately like this, but just see if it really feels better, and then you can add it at stage 2. Yeah, great, Karen. Yeah, that is great. And yes, you write great things. Yeah. I will add as my turn. Like this. Yeah. This one for me is like I feel good and trusting my life, going with the flow and seeing the new perspective is for me. Maybe I don't know everything, by the way, about health benefits, and maybe there is some health benefits even in sometimes breaking my sleep pattern and being in this like, what if this does have something for me, some benefit for me that I don't even know? Maybe, who knows? But the important thing is that in this work that I did now, I feel like I'm moved, I shifted to some point. Like, I remember that in some other cases when I am doing my vibrational work about some bad situation, feeling some situation where I feel bad, and I want to, like at the stage of my vibrational work, I feel like I I want to fix the situation so that I could feel better. And then when I'm doing some energy work steps, then after that, when I come to alignment, I usually feel like it doesn't matter what it is physically. I feel good vibrationally. I feel good now, and it is this um, this feeling that where I am is good, and it doesn't matter so much what it will be. I know it is all good. It's good. And now what I feel like with this plus and plus um, exercise, I also felt it when I was doing it before, is that it moves me from, like, I'm always starting it with the feeling that that sharp feeling that I need to make a choice and that something important depends on it. And when I do it, then in the end, I feel it's okay. Um, like I feel like I'm not in that sharp need of the decision. because all those boundaries, they are like blurred for me, and then I do feel like there is some outcome of my vibration that will bring to me something pleasant. And like I don't need to make a choice anymore. I can just live. And in my life, it will just something good will happen. And this is how I feel now. Like I feel like I don't need to make that solution anymore. I feel like it is being resolved by itself for me. And I feel good with it. Okay, then I wanted to continue today the exercise that we started in Monday, on Monday, but I didn't want to stop us in this exercise of pluses and pluses before we come to some point of vibrational shift, and so we continued it longer. And so I suggest that we continue that exercise next week. I think it will be Friday as today, because if I remember correctly, on Tuesday, I think I will announce it later. On Tuesday, just a second, I will say it. 9th. Yes. On Monday, there will be a lecture from Dr. Avdeev about translighters, about cosmos. And by the way, Giselle, your questions are going to be answered as well. And I think that the next, my lecture will be next Friday. Mavil, you can until then see the replay of the previous lecture, of the lecture that we did on Monday. I uploaded it yesterday, and then you will be able to and then you will be able to continue the exercise with us, because this is really a great fun, that exercise. But what we did today was also fun. How do you feel with it? Do you feel some shift now? Do you feel some additional peace inside? Do you feel that it was good for you to do it? Will you take it as a tool to your life situations? Mm. Yeah. Great, Karen. You see, it is, yes, energy handling, exactly. Karen, you see, you can just continue with it, but actually, in many cases, and that's why I told you what I have on my tablet, that sometimes just the situation, the stare is so big that I feel like no matter how much of vibrational work I will do now, I will not climb up to that stair. But it's still okay, because when you feel better, it means that you are moving in the right direction and that you did do some steps. And many times these steps are much more productive than if we would try and come up with some physical decision or solution. Because this way we do improve both our energy state and the outcome and the feeling right now too. Like everything becomes better feeling. Everything becomes better. Okay, then see you next week. And thank you for being with me. And thank you for being so productive in what you did today. You did a great job, just a great job. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.